Hey guys, welcome back to the Gonk Gang video, and today we're just going to have a talk. We're going to talk about what's happened in the last few weeks and what's going on in the future. So, with me today, I've got Max, I got Martin, and I'm just going to jump straight into it. First thing I want to talk about, I mean, it was a little bit ago now, but we're going to talk about the Liverpool sector qualifiers. The whole Gonk Gang did attend. I mean, what do you think, boys? What going into it? How were you feeling before we actually turned up? I guess is what we should start with.
Chilling, to be honest, man. Ready for it?
Yeah, it was nothing. Nothing to me, man.
Yeah, we all
Nothing
did
to
so
you,
well.
Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we done amazing.
Yeah, we're all top 10 there,
Um,
weren't we?
no, the Gonk Gang flopped. Anyway, we're not going to go into that.
You know what?
What?
We could have all had some decent records. Dom, you and I, we went 5-4 in the end after a
Yeah,
pretty bad
true.
start. Climbed our way back
Martin,
to the top
Martin
tables.
drafted didn't exist.
I trusted the fellow members, man. Okay.
You were 4-4 at that point, so you could have gone positive on the last game. But
That is positive, man. That's 1.0.
That's true.
well, I guess.
All in all, though, I think the organized play event's done a great job. I think the tournament was surprising in what actually turned up. If we just quickly take this OP provided a graphic of how many leaders were actually at the event. Just seeing the amount of like 3-2s and 1-ofs of set like random leaders, you would think that you won't bump into them. A lot of us bumped into them in the day. Like there were people who were doing quite well on leaders that maybe people weren't expecting.
I like to point out there was 8 bosses there in total. I played 3 of them on the bottom tables.
It was 10 Obi-Wans and I played 2 in my first 2 rounds. That
That's
was
crazy.
great.
There's one Hondo and I played him. It's wild.
That's it.
Did you win though?
Yeah.
That's right.
So that does come down to the thing of like anyone preparing for a tournament, man. No matter how much you prepare against the top meta, you're probably going to get ganked by some randy deck that will just smack you. You're not ready for.
Oh yeah, like a lot of people were like focusing on Django, and there was less Django than there was at Milan.
Yeah, I think it's like an 8% drop overall or something like that.
Yeah,
Still
and
the
then a
most
lot of
played,
like
though.
people just weren't expecting to just get random matchups into things that like they just like weren't practicing against, or maybe just hadn't played in a while. I know Hera was doing quite well. Like there's a couple of Heras that were doing quite well early on in the day. I don't know how they ended up. I know there was 2 Heras and both of them were doing well.
Yeah, they were on top tables all day. And I think as we were like the second qualifier, we had a lot of counter decks like the Gar Yellows and whatnot,
Mm.
which did very well.
But overall, I think it was like I mean we'll go into BANS in a minute, but before BANS, I think Liverpool had a decent representation of random stuff.
hmm
I mean, yes, Django was still very, very high, but I still think we all got to play a lot of random stuff in a day. We just didn't get 8 Djangos in a row, or 9 Djangos, ever.
Sure.
And then looking at the top 8 places, in 8th place was Django, 7th place was Han Blue, 6th place was Gar Yellow, 5th Quinlan Red, 4th Anakin Blue, 3rd and 2nd of both Django again, and then 1st place, the UK stable, Bosk Blue.
Yeah, Hard Control stays winning in the UK.
For all these Americans that think hard control doesn't win anything, you're very wrong.
Yeah, Hard Control does like just kind of be determining the UK top results. Like
It's
even
not
if Django's not
Palpatine,
winning.
though, which is, wild.
That is true.
True.
We are known for the Palpatines, but I think Palpatine did finish high. I mean, I don't have the full standings, but
There were some blues that did pretty well.
yeah, I would expect Palpatine to do okay. But looking at the top 8, I'm quite interested in the Anakin Blue, which was piloted by Josh. And then what was the other one? Was it the Han Blue? That was a bit of a different list than we normally see.
I think it was a typical hand blue to be fair, but everyone expected like a hand yellow to be there, not a blue.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah. But
As if it
I
was
think,
pre-DJ ban.
well, overall, I think like the top 8 was looking quite healthy. I mean, a lot of people are expecting more Django's in there, but obviously people figured out what works for them because only 3 out of the 8 were actually Django.
I said there was a bunch of was it 2 Gar Yellows in top 16?
There might have been more, I think, right?
There's at least 2 because one was our mate and then another was the number 10 or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's only 2.
Well, no, because if it was number 10, there'd be 3 because Tristan got 6th with Gara as well, so there might be 3. Either way, it is what it is. Anyway, that was the main tournament. The real winners for Gonk Gang was on day 2 in the side events. Now, we're just saying, if you ever go into these events, day 2's where it's at. We all played the Premium Cup, we all went crazy, and we all got mats. We all got packed.
I did terrible in the Premium Cup.
Would you like to explain, Martin, how your day 2 Premium Cup went?
Well, I went against all the top meta decks on the second day in the side event. And I didn't go against them in the main day, man. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Martin looked quite defeated every time we spoke to him. He went, "Yep, I just played another Django. Yep, I just played the Gwynlyn." It was like, okay, Martin's not having the greatest day 2.
That was the same with me as well. I had a Django and a Han Yellow in a Premium Cup.
Yeah. And then after our Premium Cup, we played Chaos Draft. Now, if anyone has gone to these events and was thinking about doing draft, if they have Chaos Draft, you've got to do it. It is the funniest thing I think you could do with a bunch of mates. You get 2 random packs from set 1 to 4, and then you get a Carbonite booster, and you drafted them all, build the best you can, and just literally play each other. And it's the funniest thing I think I've done at an event in a long time.
It was pretty good. I do like adding the Carbonite packs in. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, because the Carbonite packs make a hard decision on what you want to keep and what you want to take. And they also come with a better chance of getting some good stuff. Overall, though, sector qualifier Liverpool went, we would say, well for the first, in terms of Gonk Gang, it went well for the first like sector, especially that we've attended. Or and you never know, might come back to Liverpool. Overall, I think the tournament went well. Does anyone have any final opinions before we move on about Liverpool sectors?
Good event. You know, it was well done. It seems to be a lot better than the US equivalents. I think they had problems with the prize walls and whatnot, and the cost of everything. I think it was fine for us though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
there's
don't
some complaints
know
about draft prices.
I don't know who was running who was in charge of running them.
No idea, but it's not OPE, so that's the issue.
Yeah, OPE, big chads. And speaking of big chads, moves us on to our next topic. The big chad himself, Django Fett, got banned.
Yeah, finally.
So our next topic that we're going to quickly talk about is the ban list. So for people that might not have seen, or people new to Star Wars, before this ban list, there was only one character on the suspended/ban list, which was Boba Fett, because he became too prominent in the meta and he was representing too much. And over when Set 4 released, Django Fett was doing exactly the same. FFG took the mighty hammer and put Django Fett on the suspension list, as well as Triple Dark Raid, and they obviously were thinking ahead because Han Solo Yellow would then take his place. They also banned DJ for Han. So, opinions.
I will say, for a company that on their live stream admitted that they did not test Django properly because Boba wasn't banned for testing then, I'm so surprised that they actually had the foresight to ban DJ. But good on them for doing that.
Yeah, I was when we were talking to people over the weekend, obviously in Liverpool, a lot of people were saying like, yeah, I think it's just going to be Django. And every time they asked me, I was like, it's got to be, if it's Django goes, something has to be done about Han because Han Yellow would just take his place.
Yeah.
And like you said, Max, they actually did take the foresight and go, yeah, that's probably going to happen. So we get rid of DJ.
Which is fair. It was a annoying card and pretty unfair one, but I guess.
Yeah. It also just bumps the. Yeah. You're not happy, Martin? Did you want DJ to stay?
Yeah, DJ, yeah. Oh, I'm sad about my favorite card gone. Triple Dark Raid gone. What am I gonna do now?
Even though Triple Dark Raid got banned, it negatively impacted a lot of smaller decks and like decks in general. So, for example, like Grievous Green, right? Random
Oh,
deck,
my
but
list.
Triple Dark Raid was good. Rio Joran, a leader based on vehicles. Triple Dark Raid made him good. Like Pia Yellow, Triple Dark Raid made it good. Boba Yellow, Triple Dark Raid made it good. So like with all these decks now, there's Triple
Mm.
Dark Raid missing, and it just kind of bumps a lot of these. Like, I mean, I'm not saying these are good decks or top tier decks, but like if people want to enjoy them, they've also been hit now, and not just the top players.
Yeah, I will say with Django getting banned, I feel like they probably could have taken like a Yu-Gi-Oh approach to Triple Dark Raid and maybe made it like only 2 or 1 copies allowed in a deck, because that would massively reduce the consistency of top decks and still let them do some cool stuff.
Yeah, but I think they like stated that they don't want to do erratas in terms of changing like costs of cards or anything, and they also
Yeah,
don't
of
want to
course.
limit the amount of cards. But I would agree in limiting the amount of them, but then I just don't think decks really needed that much because again, if you still hit 2 out of your 50, then it was pointless it being reduced in the first place.
Well, but I mean, that's for luck of the draw, really, you know.
Well, yeah, that's true. What about you, Martin? You happy about Django? Not happy about Django?
Yeah, it's a good change, man. I'm surprised though. Everyone was talking about Talking Town getting banned, but they didn't touch
Oh
it.
yeah.
And I think at this point though, seeing that is Quinlan the only meta deck that still uses it,
No,
maybe
Cad
they were
Bane.
right there.
Cat Bane.
I guess Cad. He's not as seen, but yeah,
I think
Quinlan
he
is
is
the
rising
main
with
one.
like not planetaries, the showdowns now.
Yeah,
I
it'd be
completely
interesting to
forgot
see
about
if
that.
that was a miss by them.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
like they're too scared to ban bases like ECL and Talking Town.
if we quickly just look at showdowns that have happened in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, Quillen Talking Town, Kylo Talking Town, Cad Talking Town. Yeah, it's just the same ones. There's not really anything new. But I agree with Martin. I think Talking Town was one of them. I mean, that and ECL, like the 225 bases with an epic action that have both been prevalent for a while now. And maybe if both of them or one of them gets pushed out the way, then it opens up again a bit of a meta shift. But
Yeah, I think it's just they're probably expecting the same effect that happened to ECL. Everyone was talking about ECL in set one as being like completely busted, but now it's pretty much only Sabine that uses it. Like you'll
yeah,
occasionally see it in like maybe Kira or something, but then they
Yeah.
don't normally get as far. So I
yeah.
wonder if Tarkin Town they're expecting the same result where like you'll just see like Quinlan or something use it in Cad Bane maybe, and that's about it. So we'll see.
Yeah. In
It
terms,
might
well,
get touched at the end of the set.
linking on to this to the end of this conversation here, is there any cards that you want to see getting banned in the future? Now we've just mentioned Tarkin Town maybe getting bumped, ECL maybe getting bumped, but is there anything that's not a base or any particular leaders you think chop and block?
Yeah, Force Throw, get rid of that. Go on, it's time. Take
Yeah,
it out.
going into the next set, Force Throw will be scary because
Yeah,
pretty much every
Yeah.
deck will likely be running it.
Force throw. Okay, anything else?
Honestly, just talking down, I think the ability to like get rid of your tempo on turn 1 or 2 is really frustrating for a lot of decks playing against them.
Yeah, I know that's one reason why CAD's come back again is because a lot of decks that want to just drop a turn one, CAD just pings and Tarkin Towns it, and now CAD's winning that because he doesn't mind killing you turn one. Same with ECL, like if Sabine is in a mirror, you ECL early, you then get advantage on your opponent. Yes, they have the opportunity to ECL you back, but you've got that one unit on board, and then it's, go fast from there.
Yeah, it's only like Saxon that can can't really deal with it because of the shielded units you want to run.
hmm But yeah, no one wants Petronaki Arena to get banned, then no.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's
ban
alright.
Pow City, please.
Are you afraid of Power City, Martin?
Yeah, Sabine having 6 health in Sabine Blue, that's crazy. If someone were to make a deck like that.
You know what, get
You
rid
never
of
know.
Droid Manufacturing, man. I don't want to see Rex Unity Purpose anymore.
Don't want to see Rex Unity. Well, I think he was great, man. I mean,
Get him out of here.
bring back the Rex Green players, man.
They never went anywhere, man,
Well, I mean, they'll just like stop playing them. I don't know.
Oh,
Well, yeah, because
right.
it goes to tournaments and all the Unity's Purpose at the bottom of the deck when you cut them.
That is true. Well, moving on. Our next topic: leaks.
The
So,
leagues.
someone somewhere in the world figured out how to. I mean, I can't even remember what happened. It was he
Martin
just
White.
Yeah.
Martin White figured it out. I think
Martin
it's
White
just
figured it out.
I think it's just an error from their website because the leaders were technically public on
Yeah.
the website, but they
So,
hadn't hidden them properly.
for anyone
Yeah.
that doesn't know, on the Star Wars Unlimited main website on the card base, if someone typed in certain keywords and then leaders/cards popped up, or it gave a number, for example. So if you type Qui-Gon Jinn, I think there was a leader, and it said 1, but there was no card. So it kind of confirmed the Qui-Gon Jinn leader card is in the database. It just doesn't have a picture. So, for example, I'm just going to run through the set 5 leaders that were supposedly getting due to this leak. It would be Qui-Gon Jinn, Maul, Darth Revan, Cal Kestis, Kanan, Anakin, 2 new Inquisitors, but they're not sisters, Obi-Wan, Talzin, Ahsoka, Rey, Kylo, Snoke, and potentially Kit Fisto. So that's a lot of leaders confirmed just from a small leak. You know what I mean? Does anyone have any interest? I mean, I'm happy to see Darth Revan there. I'm also happy to see another Kylo. That's interesting, and Kit Fisto is interesting too.
Well,
And
they
I
got
wonder
Legends
who's
there,
gonna.
right?
The Cal Kestis stuff as well. Jedi Survivor games is a great addition.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming one of the Inquisitors will be. I know they say no sisters. The second sister, presumably, it's using their real name. That's why probably didn't come up when they typed sister.
What is the for one of the Inquisitors? I don't know why I'm thinking Ahsoka show, the night looking one that she fights.
Yeah, the
It
one who turns
could,
into fart gas when he dies. Yeah, gotcha.
yeah. But that's a lot of leaders. We will have it on screen so if you to have a look at. But for a small league, there's quite a lot of them. Anyone got any takes on who you think will be good with what we've got now? I know we don't have colors, but obviously we can take a guess.
We don't have anything. Yeah, just
Let's
names.
be honest though, Qui-Gon has to be good from what we've seen. The ability to replay cards is pretty good. Like especially with Ahsoka from this set, I think the discard decks for Qui-Gon might be really strong.
I'm hoping that Obi-Wan might actually go off the Republic keyword. I know it's odd, but I'm hoping. But then again,
all Force units, right?
yeah. But that I'm
So maybe it's
saying,
like spend a Force token to give a shield or something. Probably.
But it's also prequel. I'm guessing Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So it could be young
Yeah.
Obi-Wan. New Kylo is also interesting. I wonder what direction they're going to go with this Kylo leader. Whether it be another racy like aggro, or they just give him like his other arc of I'm friendly. I'm not angry anymore.
They probably call him Ben for that, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably gonna be
Apart
like a green version, like where he's in charge, maybe.
Oh, that's
I
true.
know for a while a lot of people have wanted like Sisters of Dathomir and stuff. So Mother Talzin being mentioned is key. Hopefully we will get more Dathomir cards and whatever else.
Yeah, I'm excited for Talzin and Snoke. Talzin particularly because based on how they are in like the shows and whatnot, there's probably a recursion strategy coming with that, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be good. Some sort of like not necessarily epic action, but like play something kind of like Kylo's tie. We can play something from the graveyard, and maybe it'll die. It comes in ready and then dies the same turn or something,
Yeah,
or something
it'd
like that.
be nice to see something like that.
But with these leaders that we just mentioned, there was also cards that were identified on the list. So we have one new Asajj, 6 new Inquisitors, one new version of Savage, 15 new Sabers, which for a set that predominantly has Force users, we're probably expecting quite a lot.
Let's go Grievous.
We got one new Anakin, one new Gungan, which I'm hoping is the Bombad General himself. We've got one Ewok, finally getting an Ewok in the game. We're getting a new Ezra, one Mara, one Yoda, one Yaddle, and one Grogu. So, we've got the Yoda family tree, I don't know.
If finally we can get a new Grogu promo.
The Yoda tribal deck.
Here we go. I think
But
the standout there is Mara, right? Mara Jade from
Yeah.
the Legends. It's a pretty crazy ad. We didn't think we'd ever get. Well, to be honest, we were worried about we won't even get a Revan or something. But now we're getting Revan and potentially Mara Jade.
But wasn't it announced we just weren't getting those in the beginning?
Yeah, they said they weren't really going to touch Legends. So, which is probably why we should say that there's always a chance that these leaks aren't final and like this was like just a slip up and
Yeah, of course.
yeah, I mean,
Probably
they
a
could be in the
chance.
database, but they're just not existent. Or, for all we know, this could be cards that are coming many, many sets down the line, not necessarily next set. I mean, we know, like, saying, like, the leads, obviously, Qui-Gon Mall and stuff, and it was in the same league, but some of these cards may generally be in the future. They might not even be next set. Or, like Martin just said, they might not even exist. They might just be there for some reason.
Or they could be placeholder names or like shorten things for something else.
I mean, obviously, for people that obviously like tribals, second Gungan, so we now got Jar Jar and another Gungan. Hopefully more Gungan cards. Let's get them out. Like, we need more Jawas. Make Jawa tribal possible, please. I want to play them all. What else we got in here? 6 new Inquisitors. That's interesting, right?
We've got them
Does
all.
Grand Inquisitor get better with more Inquisitors? That's what we need to know.
Probably not.
If they all have
Probably.
less than 3 power, it might actually be disappointing because then they're just not usable in other decks potentially.
The only way that'd be good if like they had a thing that meant that you couldn't damage them yourself, but still get the ability proc.
With this one new Asajj as well, I wonder if it's like in the future Asajj when she's not aligned to Sith or Jedi. That might be interesting. And I don't know. Also, we get Yoda, Yaddle, Grogu. People want these. They'll probably be OPs. You know, I think we've already seen the Grogu art potentially on the back of a card sleeve, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they put that out officially.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Grogu, although it aren't card sleeves normally leader, aren't?
Most of the time at last set we had like First Order Stormtrooper and stuff.
Right, okay. So Grogu's probably the one that was like most confirmed off that list of new cards. But all in all, what do people think of the leaders and cards that we supposedly are getting next set anyway? With
It's
these
a
Six
leaks?
great
leaders.
selection, man.
Yeah, really good stuff to be fair.
Better or worse than previous sets?
I'd say
There's
better.
no like questionable choices, I think. So I'm pretty happy with all of them. If
But
they
also,
all
this
end
isn't
up being
all
true.
of them. I think we're missing 2 on this list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what two are we missing? Do you have them? No.
No, it's just
No.
there's only 16 heroes now. There's 18 in a set normally.
Right, sorry, yeah.
They managed to fix the website, I guess, before everyone had searched every character
Yeah.
ever exist in Star Wars.
People were just typing like every Jedi possible.
Hawkins pilot coming out. Gotta be
Oh,
real.
Okay, okay.
No one searched him yet.
Okay, real question is when we getting a Gonk droid? I'm fed up now. We're 4 sets in. If we don't get a Gonk droid before like everything rotates, there's a problem, FFG. And we're
This
not
is
going
the
to be happy.
set.
This is the set. We see
True.
multiple Gonk droids.
He's
This
got
is the
force
set.
powers.
I mean, we also see a Gonk droid in Watto's little selling shop. And speaking of Watto, we're just going to talk about the new set because FFG did reveal 2 card stores. So we did get Watto himself,
Mm.
which there's only 2 cards. We're going to go over them. We got a 3-cost Watto. He's in blue. He's a 1/6 on attack. An opponent chooses one. Give an experience token to a friendly unit, or you draw a card. I think Watto's great. If anyone disagrees, I don't care. Watto's amazing.
He's pretty good. 6 health is hard to kill at 3. He's just already a control card, though, really, isn't he? You're not really
Yeah.
going to use him in anything else. That's why he's in blue.
Nice sick for Gar.
He is sick for Gar Saxon.
Hooray.
The
Give him a
one thing,
lightsaber. Get him in.
the one thing I would like to point out is in the bottom right of the card. It's 264, which I think is 10 cards, or maybe more higher than what we had this set. So FFG seems to be going up in terms of volume of cards in a set. Or am I wrong? I might be wrong. I think I'm right though. I swear this set was 252, no?
They're all around the same. I think like set 2 is 262 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine with the extra legendary pulls and whatnot in boxes, maybe they're increasing the amount of the size of the sets to balance that out.
But I mean, as well as Watto, we also got Luthen, which I know loads of people want a Luthen, and he's here. He's a 4-cost blue. He's 4/5 on attack. Search your top 5 cards of your deck for an item upgrade, reveal it, and draw it. It's great. And he's
Very
got the
thematic,
keyword.
but you know,
It is thematic, and he's got the keyword rebel, which would be interesting if any like leaders, like rebel, like trait liking leaders, will then start playing blue and play some sort of like item upgrade, like type of build.
I mean, right
I don't
now
know.
it's not good, is it? It's not really a good strategy in any way.
Yeah. If he was when played and on attack, maybe he'd see a bit more. But I think because he's only on attack or on 4 resources, you play him out and then you don't even.
I'm just saying, Luthen with Chirrut goes crazy.
Yeah, I guess
Here
he
we
does.
go. Well, we're getting 50 more items in the form of lightsabers to search for, so who knows? Maybe
True.
there is going to be a leader that, like specifically about items.
And Chirrut's also rebel, so the synergy's there. Let's go.
Yeah,
Chirrut
so-
deck incoming with Luthen.
You're it back.
But also, top 5
Chirrut
is not
back.
a lot. Like
Yeah, top 5's not a lot. I would
that's
say
pretty
it's
shallow
almost
for searching in this game.
it's almost like Omega. Omega says a top 5 for a clone. You reveal it and
Yeah,
then put
quite
the
a
rest
lot
of the
that
bottom.
searches 5, I believe.
Yeah.
but
It
so
should
far
be
we've seen a
grab
lot
2
less.
items or something, you know?
Yeah, but I mean like 5 when you're not running many
It
in a
should
deck
be
anyway.
search your opponent's deck for an item, and then you get to put it in his little antique shop and just leave it there.
Nice. And you get money on the way.
Yeah, yeah. Every
That's
time
cool.
your opponent plays that card, you just get 5 resources for free. No, but in all seriousness though, what do we think of Watto and Luthen? I think the two reveals, I think they're great. I think it like the sets now are starting to become more of their own and are starting to just be good cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think didn't they say last that they were just improving the power of cards generally
Yeah,
in these
they
sets
did.
going forward?
Yeah, it was power and health, wasn't it? So a lot of the cards are starting to get more like health
That's what
and
they said. Yeah,
They're just
2
better
drops
statted.
are they're
yeah.
going to be around 2/4s now, like R2 from set 3. That's what they want to add more units
I
like
think
that for the ground.
that was a big complaint of mine early on in the game that like you had cards with like gimmicky little effects that could be good if they had actually decent stats, but they were always really poorly statted, so they were unusable.
Hmm.
Hopefully that's not the case anymore.
But
Need more units that survive 1 ping and Tarkin Town on turn 1, please.
Exactly.
in terms of the new set as well, has anyone got any predictions for where it's going to be in terms of power, equivalent to like sets we currently have?
I would hope it is equal to or better than set 4, as that's been a nice
Okay.
bump to the power, but set 3 was way too weak, and set 2 was a nice addition to set 1, but set 1 was really powerful, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think if they keep going with the power levels of set 4, where some leaders have entered the meta game and then just sat there and like, not dropped off, or just cards have now jumped into decks and they're now sitting there instead of just like, oh, this card was great for like the first 2 weeks and now we don't need it anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, even if we look at decks like Sabine, for example, there is cards in there that are completely brand new and it actually changed the deck and now has a permanent place in it, and it's not just like a gimmick of, oh, I might put that in my sideboard. So I agree with that. I think if it keeps going the same power as set 4, I think we're in for a really good like run of sets, especially.
yeah. Set 4's been very healthy for the game, I feel, and it's personally like, reignited my passion for the game.
Yeah,
From the start with the Django crazy, but you know.
I
Even
would
that I
think.
didn't mind.
Yeah, set 4, in as good as it is, has wanted me to, do more content and like play more Star Wars. I think Liverpool sectors also solidified that, going to sectors and just seeing the amount of people there enjoying the game just wants to make me go to like more events and meet more people and stuff. So it's gonna be good.
Sure.
That's all my topics. Has anyone else got any other topics they want to bring up?
Well, let's cover that. We now have a public Discord, the Gonk Gang. That's right. If you want to chat with us more directly, talk about decks or videos that we have been doing, we
Party
now have a
horn,
place for
party
that.
horn,
Party.
confetti on the screen. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
What the
exactly. I
fuck?
know. Like I felt like we've not had much of a connection to our community, despite at events where we tend to be really big on that. We love events for that, handing out the tokens to everyone we meet. If you go to any event in the UK, you're going to see Gonk Gang tokens all on the bottom tables
Yes, sir.
where they belong. But yeah, now there's a place for that,
Wait,
so come join the Discord.
please join. Don't just let me sit here by myself.
Please.
Please. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I agree. Come say hi. Come chill out. Come ask questions. Come, show decks that you've made and ask for help if you want to. We've got all types of stuff. Just come and join. Have a great time. I don't know. So we've got a Discord. Join it if you want. Anyone got any last few topics or any last topic before we wrap up today? I'll take that as a
Yeah.
no. Oh, Martin's
Yeah,
got one.
yeah. I've run out of milk, lad.